Hello. You startled me. There could be a good explanation for that. Um, you see, when I'm studying my PSA graded and authenticated cards through my magnifying glass, I tend to get into a little bit of a trance. But I really wish you could see what I'm looking at right now. It really is something. You know what? Maybe you can. On the right is a 1986 Topps Mint 9, number 736, Glenn Wilson card. Now, first and foremost, when you're looking for cards to grade, the first thing you want to look at is right and left centering, as well as top and bottom. The centering is number one. You really want a 50-50 split on both. At the top of the card, you really want to see a nice, rich, vibrant team name with deep, clear colors that don't have any impurities. The surface of this card was nice and clean. It didn't have any bumps or craters. And just, this may sound strange, but overall, you just want to look at the card. Just look at it for its overall vibrancy, for the color. I have to admit, when I submitted this card, I had high hopes for a possible 10, but at the top, as you can see, there was a lot of jaggy cuts and serrations, especially there. But overall, it's a beautiful card. Presents really well. Now, you might have asked why I was looking at a PSA 9. Here is a PSA 10 Gem Mint 1986 Topps Steve Jeltz. Beautiful, vibrant. Just to look at it, you might even think it's a Tiffany. It could even be a Tiffany with how vivid the colors are. The Phillies team name at the top is Perfection. Deep reds there. No impurities. Look at that corner. I don't know if it gets much better than that except for this one. Perfect Gem Mint 10 corner right there. As long as there aren't any other problems with the card, that's going to be a 10 corner. Nice cut edge along the top. Even with a Gem Mint 10 in 1986, which is a tricky set, you're going to see some blemishes. But if the card presents beautifully, and it really just is striking with sharp corners, you might have a chance at a 10. Here are the main elements you want to take into consideration when grading 86 Topps cards. Of course, the ever tricky black edges at the top, the vibrance of the team name and photo, centering, of course, as with all cards, razor sharp corners, and surface purity and smoothness. What I'd like to do now is take a look at a few cards I set aside, but will not be submitting for one reason or another. This is a really nice Reed Nichols, but top and bottom, we're looking at about a 70-30 split, so disqualified. Got an Ed Romero here, which to the naked eye looks really nice until you put it under the magnifier and you can really see some flaking and cardboard loss in the upper left corner. You know, nice card though, good presentation, pretty vibrant, but it's not one of those, you know, Tony Gwynn types that you're gonna throw a Hail Mary on for 20 bucks. Jack Morris, beautiful one. There's some debris there on the surface, a little bit of chipping on the top, so not gonna do that one. Leaders cards are interesting, and this is one of my favorites. Willie Randolph. They're tricky because it's difficult to determine the centering with this feather effect here, the cloud surround that they did. You can't tell left and right. Maybe you go by the S and the Y there, left and right. But top and bottom, I don't know. Is that 50-50? I don't think so. We have an extraordinarily beautiful Tom Gorman here. Real vivid, real sharp. Look at the top edge of that card. Razor sharp cut. But unfortunately, the upper left-hand corner here, that nick is a field too far, and it's not gonna get a 10. So it's a real shame. I mean, one slight little imperfection shows you how brutal you have to be with these cards. Absolutely honest with yourself. I got two Willie McGee's here from the same box recently. This one's just a little bit better than the other one. Beautiful, beautiful presentation. Deep, rich colors, vibrant look to it. Really nice corners. I think that's a passable bottom right. Real nice corner there. You're gonna see a little bit of chipping, a little bit of cardboard loss sometimes along an edge. It's not ideal. You're kind of towing the line. You're really flirting with a 9 when you're seeing too much of that. I would call that a safe 10 corner. An edge here, some husk, some cardboard husk, but you're safe as long as that's a close corner there. It's going to be a judgment call in the end. But that husk coming off the cardboard is a product of the factory cut, and I've seen evidence that they don't hold that against you at PSA. So nice edges, crisp coloring, really nice card. Top, bottom, I don't know. Might be 60-40. The edges of this Joe Cowley are so sharp they could cut a ham. And the rest of the card is just gorgeous, but it's a real heartbreaker because top, bottom, 70-30. And then this, I'm not sure what this is. It's kind of like a grease spot, sometimes I call it. And it comes out of the pack that way. So I'm not sure what it is, but I've seen it on cards. Sometimes they're not so bad, but on this one's pretty big, so it's a disqualifier. This Doran is downright intoxicating. But I wanted to look at something specific up here in this upper left-hand corner, which is sharp, but I've talked about husking and, you know, cardboard coming off the edges. That is a whole head of hair right there. The whole rest of the card kind of has to be almost perfect, and geez, boy, and it is. Real nice edges, real nice corners. I may just wind up submitting this one. I'd like to now show how easy it is to gather information from eBay auctions about the grading process. I'm going to do some Boolean searches here. Minus Tiffany, minus traded. I'm not real big on grading Tiffany's and traded cards. I prefer the base set. Tiffany's and tradeds kind of they generally seem pretty sharp to begin with. So we've got a real nice Nolan Ryan here. We have cardboard husking on the top edge. It's not the deepest black I've ever seen, but just seeing that there's husking, especially in the upper right-hand corner there, some of that cardboard kind of feathering off the edge, it kind of confirms my suspicion from before. And, you know, I think they let some of these things go as long as it was clearly just sort of a product of the factory process. On the left edge there in the black, I'm seeing a little loss, cardboard loss, which just means I guess you can see some of the white coming through, or some of the base cardboard underneath. Kind of what I mean when I say loss. It gives you a little hope that you can get away with, you know, some imperfections like that and still get a 10. But a vibrant picture. I don't know if that's a scratch on the case near his left shoulder there. Case condition is a big deal for me, but you know, clearly a very nice Ryan. Lee Tunnel. Let me click on this one. I'm a firm believer in submitting, you know, guys that weren't, you know, necessarily Hall of Famers, just because it's the beauty of the card, the beauty of the set. It's preserving the set for what it was. That is a almost blinding yellow Pirates there in the top. I can't see any flaw in the edges in the top black area or elsewhere for that matter. Got the stovepipe hat there, and just looks sharp. And then on his glove there, that's kind of interesting, BLT. Thinking maybe his first name starts with B and Lee is his middle name, and I'm gonna have to look that up. So bear with me here for a second. You know, while you're collecting, just kind of like looking into these kinds of things, it's kind of fun. I mean, and look at this, Byron Lee Tunnel. So BLT, Byron. How about that? What do we have here? Woo! There's his 85. There's 86. Got some signed cards there. Wow. Dodgers suffer tunnel vision, lose 1-0. There's been a little grumbling from some of the Dodgers lately. Their fans and the press were coming down on them too hard, they felt. This time, the Dodgers lost 1-0 to a 21-year-old who wasn't even supposed to pitch and had been in the major leagues all of 4 days. Lee Tunnel, a spectacled, pimple-faced Texan, ouch, who learned 35 minutes before the game start that he would have to stand in for the injured John Candelaria. Wow. Shut out the Dodgers on 4 hits before he was forced out in the top of the 8th with a blistered finger. He retired 16 of the last 17 Dodgers. See, I mean, you're just finding out things that you didn't know about these players. It's just fun. Oh, look, here's the 86 Topps picture there on Baseball Reference, which is one of my favorite websites. Okay, so it looks like that article is from 1982, his first registered year. Pitched 8 shutout innings in that first game. 8 earned runs over the next 10 innings. Next year, he came back strong, registering 9th in Rookie of the Year voting. 11-6, 3.65. Look at this, he didn't even play in 86. So anyway, it enhances the collecting process because, I mean, now, whenever I look at this card now, I'm going to know he didn't even play in 86. He had that great 21-year-old debut. Anyway, what a beautiful, beautiful, sharp card. No wonder it got a 10. Tom Seaver. I don't know, got a little bit of issues in the top edge there, right in the middle, over the T and the E. I mean, look at the red. The red in his jersey is just popping off the screen. Let's check this Willie Upshaw. I think I submitted an Upshaw once. I mean, it looks really vibrant. I'm gonna say though, I don't know. Left right looks, that might even be about 60-40. I don't know. Top bottom looks really good. But that left right, I don't know. Beautiful Tom Foley. But in any case, I hope you can see that eBay can be a valuable resource for learning about what may get a 10 and what may not. Well, it is pretty clear that professional grading of cards by companies like PSA has really brought an interesting dynamic to the hobby. What an amazing hobby, isn't it?